Welcome to Probably Nothing, the IOTA news of the last week. I'm Alexander. I'm fresh back from vacation and here we go with the news. Since last week you can mint your NFTs in a beta. The whole thing is done by the so-called bartender, so a step-by-step guide. On the associated blog post you can see the instructions, because for me neither MetaMask nor Binance works. Also, the networks you can choose is not yet open for IOTA, Shimmer or Assembly, so for the most part uninteresting. What is interesting is that Tangle Labs has released the Identity Manager. The public version on GitHub is 0.1.2 and can now be downloaded by any developer. With these libraries, developers can move forward with identities faster without going too deep. IOTA Origin published a video on YouTube showing the global problems of the industry, the energy sector and the environment. The only solution, a tracking of the supply chain that naturally runs on the Tangle. With over 200 clicks, the video has received far too little attention. Can you do something about it? Finally, this is a really good and innovative use case for IOTA. Danoa.iota posted a video from the German government about digital identity. At 2 hours, it is a bit long. Nevertheless, it is a very interesting video that someone should watch. There is of course no mention of IOTA or the Tangle. Yet some members and guests mentioned the ID, SSI, blockchain and DLT, but the basic tenor here is NFC, which is the ID card, and no bells and whistles like blockchain and SSI. But, and I think this is important, if the IOTA Foundation watched this video and listened to the questions, answers and proposed solutions and focused their research and work on that, they could deliver a better solution in form of IOTA. Let's get to the big topic of voting. Since several episodes of Probably Nothing, I've been advertising to participate, to vote, etc. for the proposal of Cappy. In the course of this, the IOTA Foundation has published a blog post. The proposal is possible with new update of the Firefly wallet. This works the same way as the IOTA Treasury Fund proposal. On July the 14th, the pre-voting starts, which means you can cast your vote relaxed for a week. From the 21st of July, the counting of votes starts, so you should have voted in the Firefly wallet by then, so you don't lose any time. This voting period also lasts 7 days, so until 28th of July. You can vote until 20th of July, whether you are or against. Unfortunately, a big mistake overshadowed the voting. The proposal was calculated wrong and changed afterwards by Cappy. Instead of 20%, it's 25%. Unfortunately, the proposal in the Firefly app is also titled 20%. 10% for ecosystem and 10% for treasury. But 25% is created, which is misleading and wrong. That is why there is a new vote on govern.iota.org to end the current vote. Since the vote has not yet started, there is no effect on the result. What should also be said here is this. The IOTA Foundation has nothing to do with this. It's community vote. If anyone screwed up, it's the community. Let's stick with Firefly. Since there will be a separate Firefly app for Shimmer, Jeff shared on Twitter a screenshot of the app icon. Last week there was also an update on GitHub with the latest developments. The first update carries the aforementioned vote. The biggest and most exciting development carries the mobile app. This is now available in beta for Android and iOS. I myself am one of the 1000 and must say that so far it has worked well for my test. And the last update is for Shimmer and Stardust. This is the community alpha. Here, of course, the token transfers will be possible, but also assets. Whether this is support of the NFTs is not known, but you can certainly assume. All features will be released step by step so that Shimmer can launch sooner. The protocol group has published their updates of the last weeks. There is a lot to talk about, but nothing that would excite us average persons. At least nothing knocked my socks off, except for the fact that they are working a hell of a lot, but well, probably nothing. Let's talk about the many partnerships that have emerged in the last few days. TFT, so the fans together, join Assembly, Shimmer C and Conjuris cooperate together, and last but not least there is a Shimmer C and Moonvolt cooperation. Aptsies 2.0 has finally been ratified by GS1. This means that IOTA is the basis for supply chain data, serves as a trust anchor for the authenticity, immutability and non-repudiation of data. DPPs or Digital Product Passports are the latest development of EPSIS 2.0, and those who want to read more about them are welcome to do so on the IOTA Foundation's news blog post. IOTA Talk found a Medium post on Twitter that is about EPSIS 2.0. This one is once again about the ratification of the GS1 EPSIS 2.0 standard. Here it is again pointed out to the already use cases, among other things the DPP Digital Product Passport. Society 2 also announced a small news. Soon it will be possible to create a BIP39 mnemonic phrases to protect your data or your account, even if you lose your device, for example, your cell phone. FageAI shows all its partners and guess who is one of them. For all those who finally want to get hands-on and not just complain, they can now take a free programming course in Rust. Noman Minas offers a course on Udemy. I myself have never done anything with Rust, but I'll make up for it for free. Knowledge is always cool. And here I have to row back. Meanwhile, it costs €15, but considering the 7.5 hours content is more than cheap, still hot. Twitter user Boxy presented a new project, tanglerarity.com. With his website you can find NFTs you need. Currently it only works with Sooniverse, but also non-Sooniverse collections are supported by manual insert. Also, a new smart contracts meeting, which is very short, can now be watched on YouTube. It is about the launch of Shimmer. The testnet is expected for this month. Otherwise, the third quarter is set as a target. After that, it is a vacation time for many, which means it will be quiet for the time being. Inspired, an NFT marketplace which is not only based on IOTA, invites all artists to the Discord server. There is still no release date. On the 20th of July, IOTA and Bankless will start an interesting series. This is about the newly created treasury for which majority has voted. The whole thing runs via Discord on the IOTA server. Those who can't be live shouldn't despair. The whole thing will be available on YouTube. Landex published a new blog post where they introduced the team. Behind Landex are Sabo, Noza, Muhammad, Michael and Mark. On IOTA Heroes you can finally see your armor on your hero. You can still play the test version. On the 6th of July there was a 1-hour Ask Me Anything with Dominic Sheena. If you have little time, you should watch the summary on Reddit. The whole thing is provided by the Daily Degen newsletter. But I'll mention the most important thing. Shimmer is launching this month. A few hours ago, Hornet released an update 2.0 beta 1 with the nice changelog initial Stardust beta released. And as luck would have it, what many have been waiting for, Shimmer beta just appeared out of nowhere yesterday evening. Just in time, a blog post from the IOTA Foundation appeared. Shimmer can now be tried by everyone. The first upgrade, Stardust, is now ready. Stardust is just one of many updates that make up Shimmer. In principle, it works like this. Let's take the next upgrade after Stardust as an example, which I call Moonlight here. In the first step, research is done and first prototypes are created. If everyone is satisfied, it goes on. This software is developed and internally tested if everything works. For this, libraries and various tools are created. In this step, the first community members are invited to participate in the alpha. The third step is then called beta and presented publicly. We have now experienced live with Stardust. Here the stability and only small things are improved. If everything runs stable, the golden release is released and is published in the Shimmer network. If everything then runs smoothly on the live network, this version is then inserted into the IOTA mainnet. This means that Stardust is now in the third step and will leave the test network after a few weeks, months and be implemented in Shimmer. If this also runs well, it comes in the IOTA mainnet. After that, Moonlight comes. And it starts all over again until Shimmer is complete. With Stardust, you can now create your own smart contracts and your own coins, create automatic chargebacks and use it as a data store. But that's not all. With the update comes new specs, a new wiki, new node software I mentioned above, client and new wallet libraries, a new Firefly wallet you can beta test now, new CLI wallet, a new Explorer and a new permanode. Now exhale and digest it all. That was probably nothing again, and the IOTA Foundation never delivers. Until the next time episode of Probably Nothing. And if that wasn't enough, a new project is around the corner. Purser Co., a live engagement platform for brands, content creators and followers. It's like TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch shop for your own brand, but you can also track everything with it. Check out the website and please tell me what they do. Till then, bye bye.